What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today is an absolutely massive day for multiplayer fans when it comes to Call of Duty, especially Modern Warfare 3. I have been giving my 2 cents about the meta problems when it comes to multiplayer, and I've also made multiple videos in the past where I am complaining like no tomorrow about them hyper-focusing Warzone and not giving any love to multiplayer. But of course, this is how it always goes. I complain about it first and then they go ahead and fix it. But right afterwards, we have a huge update from Modern Warfare 3 that basically fixed everything that I could possibly imagine. They already did a decent job when it came to, Season 1 Reloaded, but of course there was a lot of things missing in Season 1 Reloaded that I was extraordinarily disappointed about. And like I said, in this recent update, they did a fantastic job. But ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and dive deep, if you are interested in more content just like this, and you enjoy what you hear today, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here. And also, if you want to support the channel, leave a like. And of course, even if you hate the video, leave a dislike. Anything means the world to me. And last but not least, we do stream pretty much daily over on Kick as well. So if you guys are interested in any of that type of stuff, some live gameplay, chatting it up with me, I will start that stream up around 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can find a link to that channel down in the description of this video. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, today we have a handful of weapons to go ahead and discuss because you have to. And when I say you have to give them a shot. When Season 1 Reloaded first initially dropped, I gotta be honest, again, I was a tad bit worried. They buffed the Rival, they buffed the Swarm, and, they gave a nice buff to the Striker, but I had to test it out before I go ahead and, make a video for you guys, saying if it's worth your time or not worth your time. But when I first initially saw that, I'm like, really? No changes to the AMR. You release a kit that doesn't work properly. The AMR is already bad enough in general. And you buff the Swarm, which is already just outstanding enough, but you don't touch the AMR. Honestly, it was insulting. And I'm an AR SMG type of guy, and I'll be honest, when it comes to ARs, yeah, there could be some tweaks across the board to balance them out a tad bit more, but they're pretty good where they stand. I gotta be honest, they're pretty, I enjoy using them all, but SMGs are really where everything is messed up, gunked up, everything is horrifying. But yesterday, Sledgehammer actually put out a quick little update. Again, it wasn't big, it wasn't huge, but it definitely had some details and some things that I was really drastically looking for. First and foremost, they changed up the AMR, they changed up the conversion kit, they hit up the Rival conversion kit, and man oh man, they changed some things up for the Sidewinder. And like I said, guys, we are looking pretty good right now when it comes to a little bit of a shift in meta when it comes to Modern Warfare 3. Of course, this isn't as much of a shakeup as I wanted, and I'm hoping that with Season 2, they really dive deep with a meta shakeup and really try to change things around. But for adding variety into the game, having things to play around with, actually enjoy, I gotta be honest, I'm happy at where we are at right now when it comes to multiplayer after, of course, this recent update and after Season 1 Reloaded. To start off, since, obviously the gameplay you're watching right here is the Sidewinder, we'll begin with this gun. Man, this was probably the most hated gun in Modern Warfare 3, but boy, oh boy, after the recent updates, it has gotten tremendously better. Now, I wouldn't say this is a top-tier contender, but I will say it is definitely something that you should give another shot, because realistically, this is like my favorite type of gun. I'm a man-o'-war lover. You guys know the man-o'-war from, BO3, and also there's a lot of other guns that can obviously resemble, but slow fire rate, but it packs a freaking punch. The problem with the Sidewinder is that the bullets it felt too floaty. The recoil pattern was random. I couldn't even figure out where the recoil is going to go when I'm engaging in gunfights, which instantly pulled me away. Because if I can't consistently land shots, especially with a gun that has an absurdly low fire rate, I don't even want to consider giving it a shot. But after Season 1, they went ahead and actually reduced the recoil and gun kick for the Sidewinder here, which, once again, is absolutely huge because this was the exact problem the gun was having. The gun kick was absurd. There was no, really designated recoil pattern that you could really follow when you're in the heat of the moment, maybe when you're standing still, but when you're engaging and you're strafing and you're getting shot at and you're getting flinch, it's impossible to use. So now when I'm in engagements, I can actually land shots. Now, I will say there could be one more improvement, and that is the bullet velocity. I think that is where this gun is really getting hit the hardest. Now, of course, you can go ahead and deck out the gun with recoil attachments. I'll show you guys my class setup right here for anybody who's interested for a base to give, this gun a try. But honestly, I don't really care that much about bullet velocity right now. I'm still more focused on gun recoil. I think personally, behind the scenes, they should just buff the bullet velocity. I think that alone would make this gun really, really, really good, fun, enjoyable and a lot more rewarding. But I mean, as you get to even see in the gameplay, this thing is just, I would have never considered even getting a gameplay like this. Even if I'm versing noobs, it can't compete. It simply could not compete. But now, it's strangely addicting. It hits hard, you kill him pretty much 3 bullets, and it's honestly a demon machine. And also with the recent update, not the Season 1 Reloaded update, but with the recent update that just dropped yesterday, they fixed up the LMG conversion kit, which was a little bugged, I guess. I hated it at first. I didn't even bother with it, but at first, you needed 25 bullets in order for the, fire rate to increase. Now, all you need is 15. 25 was just ridiculous. You never hit that number. So you never really got to witness the, the Sidewinder with an insane fire rate. But honestly, it's not amazing. I prefer the base Sidewinder over the conversion kit Sidewinder, but it is kind of fun to see the Sidewinder with a ridiculously fast fire rate after, you finish out 15 bullets. I would suggest giving that a go. Next gun on the list, which I think is extremely important to go ahead and, recognize and hopefully get out there to the public. Again, we are going to be talking about the AMR because it was a big buff. But this is a very huge one. This is probably the biggest change when it came to the Season 1 Reloaded update. I took a lot of time to test this, multiple days of grinding out. I tried to get the sweatiest of the sweaty games, the most casual of the casual games, so on and so forth, versing meta guns. The Striker 9 is really good right now. I've always loved it in the past, but the biggest problem was the damage. The recoil control is fantastic, but it just could not compete with certain, really powerful guns. Now, of course, if, you can land a lot of shots, you can compete if the other person, couldn't land shots, but if you're versing people who are competent, you will probably get outgunned a decent amount of times, and it more than likely wasn't really even you. It's just because the gun is absurdly weak. But now they buffed the damage from 27 to 29, plus 7%, which, might not look like a lot, but trust me, it is an absolute game changer. The amount of people I'm outgunning right now is absurd, along with the fact that this gun has virtually no recoil makes it just a beam machine. Of course, I will go ahead and showcase my class setup right here for you guys. I messed around with it a bit, though. I used to run, more recoil attachments, a stock and a rear grip, but I can't let go of my suppressor. I love my suppressor, and honestly, I tried to run iron sights for a decent amount of time, but I despise them way too much. I just can't rock with the iron sights on the Striker 9, so I put a red dot on this bad boy. So this is my current loadout that I'm rocking currently. Again, it has a bit more recoil than my previous build that I had for it, so again, if you don't mind not having a suppressor or not having a scope, replace those for a stock and a rear grip to help with gun kick and recoil control, and it'll make this thing even more of a demon machine. But the damage definitely makes up for it, and you have to give it a go. I mean, like I said, if you got scarred from this gun because you thought it was weak before, you have to give it a shot right now. The next weapon, honestly, I think I'm most excited about, even over the AMR, even though I still love what they did to the AMR. I just really like this right now, and that is the Rival 9 conversion kit. I remember this thing. As you can see, I'm going to showcase to you guys, everything that they did to this conversion kit. But before, it didn't hit. It didn't hit. I couldn't see myself pulling myself away from using the DG or the FAMAS whatsoever, in replace of the Rival 9 conversion. But honestly, after seeing what they did to it, I thought they were going to make it disgusting, like disgusting in a bad way, horrible. And it was going to be even less of a reason to use it. But after giving it a shot, I got to be honest, these changes were phenomenal. It feels fantastic, and it really is, going into the vision of having a nice, fast-paced, burst-fire SMG that is meant to, try to aim for the upper torso or even for headshots. And that's exactly what it feels like. Honestly, this is probably the number one thing that I would tell people to go and try right now. Again, try everything, of course. Even well, actually, it's hard. The Striker 9 is also beautiful. The Sidewinder. Okay, I can't say this, man. Like I said, that's why I'm pretty happy with today's video because Sledgehammer really did do some good changes here. These aren't pointless changes. I thought a lot of these things were going to be useless and non-existent, and it wasn't going to change anything with the meta, but I have been having a blast. Like I said, I've been testing them out. I've been trying to make sure that they're good. The Rival 9, this one just happened, so I only have a couple of days of, play time along with the AMR, but they both feel fantastic. But, the Sidewinder and the Striker 9, that's been out for a while now, and I wanted to try through thick and thin every single match I could possibly think of, and they still are holding their own, and I'm really enjoying what I'm using here. But again, back to the Rival 9 conversion kit. This is a really fun burst weapon now, and I think that you guys should give it a go because it's kind of addicting between the extremely fast fire rate it has now and also the consistency with, the bullets that are landing. It just, yeah, yeah, it's definitely way better than it was before. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, we are reaching over to the AMR. Now, what I'm showcasing right here is the SMG build I have for it, and of course, I'll show the conversion kit build that I have for it as well, gameplay-wise, when we switch over to that portion of the AMR. But this gun, honestly, like I said, I was highly disappointed when they did not touch upon this weapon, and I felt insulted when they worked on other guns that were already extremely dominant and didn't even bother doing anything to this, weapon. And then I saw them doing more works and changes and tweaks to Warzone, and I'm thinking to myself, what the heck is going on? Nothing is happening. Again, Sledgehammer has a lot of stuff to do. They still have the skill-based matchmaking talk. They still have to go ahead and bring back the experimental playlist. They said they're going to test out disbanding lobbies, recycling streaks. I still want to see a lot more heavier meta shifts. There's a lot of things that have to happen in the future. So obviously, what I'm saying here, all this positive stuff isn't completely, giving them a free pass. But at the end of the day, they have done some very nice changes, things that I have been asking for. I can't deny the fact that I've been begging for them to touch upon the AMR, and they finally went ahead and did so. As you guys can see right here, this is pretty much everything that was done to the AMR 9. Honestly, I thought it got nerfed. When I saw all of this stuff, I'm like, what the heck is happening here? It's pretty much getting nerfed damage-wise across the board, but they're increasing, limb damage, legs and feet and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, the AMR is already bad enough. GG in the chat. And then I saw increased fire rate from 789 to 833, and I thought, this is the saving grace. This is what will literally make this gun relevant. So I had to test it out. And ladies and gentlemen, I can indeed confirm that the fire rate change made this gun so much better. It is a night and day difference than what it was before. It's not like it's not like it has, the rival fire rate. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the rival. But it is way better, way more consistent, and you can land way more shots. And then, of course, moving over to the conversion kit, as you can see once again, they have all of these updates to this. This actually got some pretty good tweaks, and they admitted that the conversion kit was busted. At first, the conversion kit was bursting, so when you were shooting it, it was bursting. Instead of shooting 2 bullets at once, it was basically just doing do-do, 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 which made it horrifying. Now it actually shoots 2 bullets every single time you fire, and let me tell you, it's freaking disgusting now. At long ranges, in my opinion, it's a little less consistent compared to the AMR regular SMG no conversion, because I feel like with the fast fire rate now, I can, it's a lot of hit markers, but with the fast fire rate, I can get more shots, out there, and honestly, I can get some consistent kills from long range sometimes with the AMR now. But the conversion kit, honestly, I would say just stick with, small to medium ranges. Honestly, playing like Shipment, I popped off with this thing. It was just disgusting on Shipment. It feels pretty nice for what it is. Again, it's not, I know I said it's disgusting. Maybe I shouldn't label it as disgusting, but it's extremely entertaining now. And that's the problem. I don't need the conversion kits to be meta. I just want the conversion kits to be fun. I want them to, to be enjoyable enough or, good enough that I want to use them. And that's where this is at right now. Will this conversion kit outbeat a meta class? Probably not. But can you still have a good time with it? Can you still get kills back and not get absolutely, stomped to the ground? Yes. You can withstand, a beating. And at the same time, when you get some more casual games, you can really see the fun potential that this weapon actually has. But across the board, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, I am having a really good time with these, the new variety of weapons here. Before, all you saw were MCWs and swarms, and yeah, you still see a ton of them, but I don't feel punished, I should say. Before, I felt punished. If I wanted to branch out and use a Striker 9, I felt punished. If I wanted to use, anything, an AMR, I felt punished. That's not the case right now. If I wanted to use any of these conversion kits, I felt punished. I didn't feel like I can actually do anything. But even, in the sweaty matches, I might not be dropping swarms in the sweaty games with these conversion kits, but I can still top the leaderboards, get in the top 3, get great frag out games, and definitely hold, an average of a 2KD sometimes with these weapons. They are a lot more consistent than they were before, and I can promise you guys this. Again, it's not going to be the most insane thing in the world, but they are, it's fun, and I really do appreciate that, Sledgehammer. Hopefully you guys continue to do these updates. Don't ignore multiplayer. I'm begging you. Again, I might be giving you guys props with this video, but, we still have to see. I'm still a little worried because after this winter break, I still feel like they're in, lag mode. They're lagging behind a little bit, I feel like. So it's a lot of stuff that has to be done for Season 2. I'm kind of letting it slide a bit more since this is just Season 1 Reloaded. It's not an actual season. I still wanted a lot more out of it, though. I'll be honest, I wanted a lot more out of it. But Season 2, I hope that they have more of a meta shift. I'm happy that they balanced the weapons out. This was drastically needed, but I need more of a meta shift, something that's very noticeable. And definitely when it comes to perk changes as well, we need some perk shakeups. Some nerfs to the Assassin's Vest as well, some, vest shakeups. We need something to add more counterplay and variety into multiplayer. But for the time being, I'll take this. Out of a tiny update that was implemented into the game, this was probably one of the best, tiniest updates we've ever seen. All the other tiny updates were, bugs, certain things, tiny things here and there. This one actually shook some stuff up, and I appreciate that. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell if you want to be notified for more content just like this. And last but not least, I do stream daily, pretty much over on Kick, around 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. You guys can find a link to that down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all next one. Peace out.